Trees marked in orange in the foreground will be cut and harvested for pulp, but you can see the pitch pine in the background here with a W on it. That's saved for wildlife purposes. Pitch pine's kind of an unusual species in this part of Hillsborough County, so given that fact, we're happy. That machine will cut the tree off the stump, delimit, and then cut it to predetermined lengths, which is what he's doing right now. There's a log that got cut off. As he runs the tree through the head, it cuts the limbs off, or shears the limbs off actually. We run the limbs out in front of the machine and use those to put that brush right down in our roads, and then he travels on that brush, as does the forwarder that picks up the pulp and the logs. Acts like a big snowshoe under us, and we just crush it down and grind it up, but it stays on site, unlike a whole tree operation where the brush, the limbs in the top come out and get chipped up. There's a small hardwood that'll end up in the pulp pile. Picking up some brush now and just dicing it up and dropping it in the trail. Piece of hardwood pulp being cut now. As I said earlier, the focus of this job is really on pulpwood, not so much on logs. He's twisting the head around now to nip off some of the branches on that wide-spreading top. You can see that tree had a hole in the butt, so that's obviously just of pulpwood quality. white pine with the orange stripe in the foreground. That's a tree that's been marked for saw logs. That'll be cut later on in the operation. We kind of have to spoon feed the market here. A lot of the mills are on quotas and shutting loggers off to control inventory. Hopefully later in the spring we'll be able to come back through here and move a couple of loads of pine a day out of here. Again, this is FSC certified wood, so that does give us a bit of an advantage on selling it. Not really a price advantage, but the certification does allow us to go to the head of the line. Because we're cutting so much pulp, puts a lot of brush on the ground, more than we would have in the old days when we didn't have pulp markets around here. Another reason we have heavy brush on this job is they logged around these hemlocks, particularly the hemlock, years ago, and as a result the trees blossomed out in terms of tops and limbs, so creates even more brush when we produce pulp out of them. Smaller trees like that just get cut because they're in the way and then diced up and left in the road, so they serve to provide sort of a brushy cover on the road. Helps stabilize the ground under the machine, avoids any rutting. After the forward, it makes several passes over it. It crunches it up and breaks it even more. This stem's big enough for pulpwood. That's a hemlock tree. Different day, same timber sale. New England Forestry Foundation, Deland Forest. North Country Lumber is the logger and owner of the stumpage here. This is their forwarder picking up hemlock pulp, saw logs. Mid-March, we're dealing with deteriorating weather conditions and roads that are about to be posted, so this operation may come to a rapid conclusion here due to weather. Not so much the woods right now. We can get another couple of weeks in the woods, but the towns post weight limits on the road, so we're not able to truck the products from the landing to the mill. This is a 6-wheel Caterpillar forwarder. Hemlock pulp. I'm trying to pick off the hemlock pulp that's mixed in with the pine saw timber. Part of the process is to release pockets of advanced regeneration, as you can see here, that resulted from the harvest of about 20 years ago. Try to get some light down on that. Also create some conditions that allow more white pine to seed in. These are pretty light sandy soils, so they're very favorable for growing white pine. Eight-foot pine, some hardwood mixed in there. The white oak in the background, we've left that for wildlife purposes. Here's a section that was thinned out last week. You can see the wetland beyond. A lot of dead snags there which have wildlife value. And then as we look through the stand of white pine, here and there you'll see a orange striped tree that's marked and tallied for saw logs. Those will come out, markets permitting, a little bit later. The idea here is to take a lot of pulp out of here and get some light on the forest floor so we can get some pine to seed back in.